Hey, what's going on everybody? JP here with Wander to Get Lost, and in today's video we're going to be going over and talking about this little tool right here by ProMaxx, which is going to save your life when it comes to fixing your exhaust manifolds. Stick around and let's tackle this project together.
It could be this simple forever.
Alright everybody, so in our 2008 Winnebago Sightseer we have a Ford V10 Triton. It's a 6.8 liter, and these engines have been known to snap exhaust manifold bolts just from the constant heating and expanding and contracting. And the other issue is that the bolts can also get stuck in the heads when you try to take off your exhaust manifolds to put new studs in. So along these lines, and back when I started upgrading some of the features of the RV, we got the Bunk's cold air intake, the auto tune and everything. I wanted to change out the exhaust to the Bunk's exhaust to work with everything, and also because there's so many issues with these exhaust manifolds popping studs and everything like that. So I began the arduous task of pulling the exhaust manifolds off. The driver's side only had one broken stud, and that was I think on the first first cylinder on the top. The rest of the 9 studs came out no problem. The passenger side had 3 broken studs before I even started, and then I think I snapped in the process of removing, I think I snapped 4 more. So on the passenger side there was 6 or 7, and a lot of stuff that I watched on YouTube and a lot of my friends who are mechanics who have told me that you can weld, as long as you have some stud left, you can weld nuts to the studs and then back them out with a wrench. Well, I think I was only able to get 1 stud out through that method, and I had a buddy come over here who also does that, and he tried, and he was only able to get 1. All the other ones, we were applying so much torque to the stud, we were snapping the welded nuts off, so there was no way to get it off. So that's when I started searching on the internet, and I came across ProMaxx tools that make this little jig that allows you to drill out the stud. So we'll be going over this a little more in detail once we get under the RV, but the way it works is it has 3 holes to be able to position it along the cylinder for the studs. So depending on which stud you have, you line it up. You have 2 mounting screws that will go into the stud holes, and then 1 free hole will then be the drill hole, which will have these bushing adapters. So it's a 3-step drill process. The 4th step is a tap process, and the tap process is not re-tapping the threads, it's using a tap to go through the threads and clean out any remnants of the old stud, and that just cleans the thread, and I can tell you that it makes the threads really nice. I had 1 on the driver's side, which I have already completed, so the driver's side is all done, and then I had 6 studs here on the passenger side. I've done 5 of them, and I feel like I've gotten pretty good at using this. So we're gonna do the last one today and finally get it done, and then I can start rebuilding the whole exhaust with the new Bunk's power system. All right, so let's go take a quick look at the kit. The one that I got was the Rocky, and I got the extractorless kit, and there is the option to get the cheaper kit, or the less expensive kit has just the extractor set, which would then necessitate you to put an extractor into the bolt and then use a wrench to unscrew it. I chose to go extractorless because after trying to back out the bolts with the welding the nuts on, we were applying so much torque that I felt like the extractor kit wasn't going to work. So the extractorless, you just drill through the bolt 3 times, and then you run the tap, and then you're done. So it's a little more pricey. I believe the extractorless kit was $449, and then the just the extractor kit was $349. All right, so let's take a look at what comes in the kit, and I'll go over a couple other things before we get started. All right, so here is the kit. It comes in a nice hard plastic case. Obviously you get your jig, and it comes with 1 bushing. This is the small drill bit bushing. That's your 2nd step for drilling, your 3rd step for drilling, and then that's your tapping bushing. You get your 2 mounting screws. So these are what you're going to use in each empty hole, so that way it mounts to the engine. Here is the tap right there, and then here are your drill bits. So you have the little ones. You get 3 of those, and you get 2 medium-sized ones and 1 of the large size. They also give you a 1/4-inch chuck adapter, which you can put on a 1/4-inch ratchet. I didn't need to use this because I have a air drill, which already obviously has the air chuck. So then you obviously get the chuck tool right here. Now if I wanted to, I could still use this kit as an extractorless setup. Here's the extractor, and then here's the other tool for the extractor. This bevels the edge of the bolt. So yeah, you got those guys. It did come with directions. It's made in the USA in Pennsylvania. So you get a full set of instructions on how to do manifold repair, and then it also gives you a guide on where to position the jig. It's in color too, really like that. And then you also get Pro Lube to put on the bits for drilling and for the tapping. Alright, so a couple things about this is that there is also a drill depth guide here on this tool. The one issue is that once you set this depth, obviously you start with your first drill bit, but this jig goes onto the engine. It makes it hard when you take out that first drill bit and put in the second drill bit to then use this measuring guide. So I would have preferred had they included an actual separate depth guide. What I did is I just made my own depth guide based off this measurement, and that's been working out. So now at least when I'm changing out the drill bits, I can have the exact same measurement. All right, so the other issue that I had is with this 3rd drill bit, it's the larger of the 3rd drill bits, is that I had to, on the previous one, cut off the back half of it because I couldn't properly adjust it to the depth guide once I put it into the air drill. So something you might have to do as well. So I just used my angle grinder, and I just grinded off like a 1/2 inch, 5/8 off the back of it, and then it fit into the air drill. They do recommend using an air drill or the 1/4-inch ratchet, just because of the you don't have a lot of room and space to work in there, so the air drill and the air ratchet gets you in there, and don't have any issues with any space restrictions. They do also suggest using an air hose whip, which is a lighter version of the air hose, just so it can move a lot freer, and that way you don't pinch the drill bits. I will say that on the other studs that I've done already, I did snap the 3 little drill bits, so I've had to reorder 3 little drill bits, and then I've already doled out pretty much the other drill bits. So I've ordered a whole new set just to have, because I've already done now 6 studs. This will now be the 7th stud. All right, so let's get under the hood, under the RV, and make quick work of this. It shouldn't take more than about 15 minutes. All right, here we go. All right, so for this application, I still have this stud right here. These three up here I've already done. This one and this one I've already done. So I'm gonna mount the jig to this stud hole and to this stud hole, and then we'll have the bushing right over here. And ProMaxx recommends about 20 to 25 foot-pounds of torque on these bolts just to hold the jig in place. So just nice little tight. Yeah, good. And now our first bushing is all set for drilling. All right, so just a little Pro Lube on the first bit. And here we go. Hopefully this works out. I'm gonna try to position this so I don't knock it off. I mean, the most important thing is getting the angle correctly, so that way you don't pinch this bit and break it. This might be the problem one. I don't know if I'm gonna get, shoot, this beam. Stand by. All right, so I had to use the chuck that comes with the kit and the 1/4-inch ratchet. So I'm gonna see if this works. Get enough space now to get this in here. Now the most important thing is you have to seat the bit on the bolt. So you have to press 5 to 10 times to make sure it drills nice and straight. All right, so I did a little trick here. So I took the bushing off the jig, I put it on the drill bit first, and then I was able to get this in, and we can get the bushing back on so I can use the more powerful right angle drill. So I'm just going to continue doing that. Alright, I'm gonna get the next bit in there. There we go. This technique of removing the bushing seems to be working. So, just trying to make sure I don't pinch it. This is the third drill bit, the big one. Alright, so this is the final bushing. This is now the tap step. Now we're just gonna get this tap going, clean out the threads. We're gonna do get a full turn. We're gonna back it out a little bit, and then we're gonna keep working it up until we clean out the whole thread. So the key that I found is when you meet resistance, just to back it out, and then that gets some of the shavings to come down the flutes of the tap. And then after you back it out a little bit, then you just keep moving forward until you find the next spot of resistance. So this is really important because it cleans out the threads and makes them nice and new again. Alright, I don't know if you can see here, but there's some all the shavings that are on the tap. So I usually run this through 2 or 3 times on the other ones, and then I spray off with compressed air all the shavings, and then I go back in again. So I'm just going to do that a few more times, and then we'll test out and make sure we can thread onto the bolt, into the hole. Alright, jig is off. Here's the hole that we just fixed, hopefully. Here's one of the old bolts from the driver's side, and we're going to see if that screws in. There we go, and it screws in by fingertips. That's what we want. Alright, so that's it. All 10 exhaust manifold bolt holes are all in good shape now, so now we can completely install our new exhaust system from Banks. So thank you, ProMaxx Tools. Woo! Alright everybody, so that's it for the removal of the busted exhaust manifold studs from our Ford V10 6.8 liter in our Winnebago Sightseer. So ProMaxx tool for the win. Thing works. Yeah, it would have been great had I been able to get all the bolts out with either the heat or the welding method, because then I could have saved a bunch of money. But yeah, this kit worked. I was able to use it. It was pretty easy, except for a couple of things that happened with snapping the bits yeah, but to get this thing towed to a shop and then to have them pull out the motor to drill out and retap those threads, it would have cost an arm and a leg. And so spending $450 on this kit, which I'll have now, well worth it. So if you undertake this project, you might need the kit, and if you work on these engines a lot, it's definitely a lifesaver. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along on our crazy journey. And yeah, we're still holding fast on Long Island. There'll be a video coming out on what we're exactly doing and when we're hitting the road again, but we're almost done with all the projects. Alright everybody, stay lost.